Hello, everybody. I'm sure you are all, wherever you're watching this from, you've all been affected in some way by this whole coronavirus thing. I hope and pray that you don't have it, but even if you don't have it, I'm sure you've been, a lot of stuff's been canceled on any kind of activity, sport, you name it's been canceled. Can't find toilet paper anywhere, and I'm like, oh boy, I probably got another week or so left. And right now, usually, I buy an 18 pack of Angel Soft. Usually, I'm down about half of that. When I get down about half, that's when I start looking for toilet paper. Only been to like 2 places today. Couldn't find. I'll probably go out this weekend and probably have to get some by then. So, hope and pray that you're dealing with that situation definitely. And I tell you, the next thing that's going to start being going off is the Chinese restaurants. I have 2 on each side of the housing development where I live here in Greensboro, and they're both shut down, and a few others here in Greensboro are too. It's getting pretty hard to find some Chinese takeout these days. And even if you here in North Carolina, I mean, you can't dine in at a restaurant right now, so all the buffets, which I like, are closed too. And even if you get takeout from a place, especially with your chain restaurants, your Cheesecake Factory, your Olive Garden, your Cracker Barrel, a lot of these, especially the chain restaurants, they have very limited menus right now. So it's very frustrating. And I just go on and on about how this coronavirus stuff has just affected my life in a lot of bad ways. And then, of course, the other thing is politics. That, of course, here at the Conservative Pelican, that is the main course of this channel. And I will say that convention season, okay, in the month of March, I usually go to a lot of county conventions. This year, went to started in Yadkin County on Thursday, March 5th. On March the 7th, I went to Guilford County, my home county. And then on Tuesday the 10th, I went down to Robeson County. I will try and do a video on that by this weekend for Robeson County. And then on Saturday the 14th, went to Harnett County. Now, everything was fine with these county conventions up until the day after the Robeson County convention, because on that Wednesday was when everything hit the fan. The NCAA canceled tournament, and everything went haywire. Everybody else had to cancel. Everything else were just running all over the place, panicking all over the place. And that Saturday, I could sense the sand running out of the hourglass. If you ever watch especially a football game, and you know how your team, they're up 10 points, they're up 17 points, they dominate the second half, and then they come out, and the other team just starts chipping away, and guess what? The other team gets the lead with 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and your team that dominated the whole game ends up losing the game. That's kind of how I feel about the convention season this year. Okay. Saturday the 14th, everything the sand started running the hourglass, but still a good one convention. And then I had a convention scheduled in Hoke County, down near Fayetteville, on the 16th. That was canceled. On the 17th in Davie County, which is just a little west of Winston-Salem. That was canceled. All the conventions on the 21st of March, which is a Saturday, and there were a lot of conventions scheduled. there was maybe 2 conventions going on in the whole state, and one was way over in the mountains, like 4 hours away, and there was way over the coast 4 hours away. So wasn't going to do that. And then, but after that, I mean, you start from Saturday the 21st, and all the county conventions got converted into virtual conventions. Okay. And this was decided by the NCGOP Central Committee. Now, honestly, when the decision was originally made, the governor had not declared he just said gatherings over 50 were banned. Okay, so you could still technically usually have a county convention in most counties. But still, NCGOP, they said, well, we're just going to go to virtual anyway. So I guess at first I was kind of mad that, NCGOP leadership just decided this matter with the Central Committee. They never put it to a vote of the Executive Committee, and they should have, in my opinion. But now that's all for naught, and the governor did his things, No groups of over 10, and that's that. District conventions. I had such high hopes that district conventions were going to happen this year. Because as I've said in past videos, this is not your typical year in the district convention cycle. Okay. Last December, just about what now? This is 3 or 4 months ago now. Last December, the courts ordered our congressional districts to be redrawn. Okay. And so within a 2-week period, we had the new maps. Okay, a lot of people, including yours truly, were moved from one district to another across the whole state. Okay, in 2020, in your presidential election years at your district convention, the most important thing that you're doing is you're electing delegates to attend the Republican National Convention, which is a very important thing. But because of this redistricting stuff, you also have to, if necessary, and in a lot of districts this is very necessary and required, if the district chairman of a particular district, let's say District 6, okay, if the district chairman of District 6 got redistricted into District 7, okay, for example, if that happened, then the chairman of District 6 is null and void. Okay, now District 6 has to get a new chairman. If this happens with your vice chair, it might also happen to your vice chair, your treasurer, secretary. If your officers don't live in the new districts, you got to replace them. So that's another new thing that has to happen in these district conventions. And then on top of that, well, a lot of your executive committee members, your at-large executive committee members, have to be replaced. Okay, personal example, I used to be in the 13th district. Now, in the new maps, I'm in District 6. So guess what? My spot as an at-large member for the executive committee for 13th district is null and void. Now, I have to run for a slot on the District 6 executive committee. So you have 3 huge variables here. Okay. And unfortunately, the Central Committee, once again, at the time, the governor had not, put the restrictive 10-person cap on gatherings yet. The NCGOP Central Committee said, look, we're going to go to virtual conventions for district conventions. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna have to. So that's gonna be a whole oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And I'm just like, you know. So what does all this mean? Well, it means that for county conventions here in 2020, I have only one more video. So it'll be 4 conventions I attended in 2020. I do have some from 2019 I have not covered yet. I'm not sure when I'll get those done, but again, you know, I have no shortage of content to cover here at the Conservative Pelican. Another thing is that the district conventions, I will not be able to cover the district conventions. I will attend my district convention, which is the 6th district. However, all district conventions are now going to be via conference call, and they're going to be via Zoom, I think, which is a computer program / conference call, and you know, so because we got a lot of business to take care of with these district conventions, okay? It is, and there's just going to be so much going on at once. I know already for a fact I'm not going to be able to do what I usually do at conventions, which is take really good notes and then report back to my YouTube channel. I'm just not going to be able to do that. So there will be no district conventions on this channel for 2020, okay? You know, it's just too much. We have to replace officers. We have to replace executive committee members. Oh yeah, we also got to elect delegates to the national convention. And you know, my biggest beef with these virtual conventions is that I'm really not going to be able to have an opportunity to really fairly vet these candidates for an RNC delegate slot. You know, in 2012, I was living down in Wilmington at the time, and the district convention was in Brunswick County. And I was able to vet the candidates for the RNC delegates slots. And a couple of them were, no offense, were dressed like slobs, okay? And the slobs, most of them were Ron Paul delegates, okay? But there was one, and he to this day is a good friend of mine. He was a Ron Paul delegate in 2012, but he was dressed very professionally. He had on a suit and tie. Now, I'm not going to tell you that, you know, I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy, but when I go to most political events, I'll at least have on nice pair of khaki pants and a nice button-down shirt. You know, I'm not going to go in there with ragged, you know, wrinkly Metallica t-shirts or whatever. By the way, I like Metallica's music. I'm not hitting on them by any stretch of the imagination. So, no more county conventions this year. No more district conventions on the channel, okay? But there's still hope, okay? Because this coronavirus thing, as of right now, has not killed off the state convention, okay? That is going to be the weekend of June 4th through June 7th, okay? That date was actually moved 3 weeks, okay? It used to be like the weekend of May 15th, but NCGOP decided to postpone it 3 weeks. And fortunately, very fortunately, they were able to get the city of Greenville and the convention center to comply with that, thankfully. You know, because the state convention is they usually plan them out like 2 weeks in advance. A lot of times it's for logistics, and also, you know, booking these convention centers, you always have to book them 2 years in advance, because there's so many other people who want to use the convention center. Could be for other trade shows, weddings, what have you, graduations, blah blah blah, whatever. But okay, now as of right now, the full state convention is slated to go on from June 4th through June 7th. However, Chairman Michael Whatley, in his latest statement, has said there could be changes to the schedule. So, while I look forward very much to covering the state convention, I do not know for sure whether or not, this is going to be a complete state convention like the other ones I have. Whether or not the business session is going to be cut short or other. But we're doing two big things at the state convention. Two things we must accomplish. One is electing delegates to the Republican National Convention. And yes, we do some of that at the district convention. But the state convention, which will be held in person, will be able to vet people for the RNC slots. Okay, we'll be able to do that. And and like, there's always, most years the chairman will put out a chairman's slate. But the neat thing is that delegates will have the opportunity from the convention floor to make additions or subtractions to the slate. So it becomes very competitive, very fun, very entertaining. If you're into the political convention process, obviously, for those of us who like that kind of stuff. And the other thing that's going to happen is we're going to have elections for Republican National Committee, a man, and an RNC committee woman. Now, right now, the RNC committee man slot is not contested. The guy's name is Broyhill. I forget his first name, Broyhill. Okay. He is not his spot is not being contested as of right now. However, on the women's side, we have a very interesting race between Keisha Lineberger of Charlotte and Kim Cotton West of Washington County, which is out far east part of the state. This has been a very interesting race, and there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of catfighting and Nickelodeon Double Dare slime being tossed by these two ladies. This can be a very interesting race. I have no idea who I'm going to vote for yet. I've tried my best to be as fair to both candidates right now and try to make the best decision I possibly can. Both candidates, Keisha Lineberger and Kim Cotton West, both have some very good things about them. However, there is also some things, not so good things about both ladies too, that I certainly hope will be addressed. There will be a candidate forum at this convention as of right now, and that'll happen, I believe, on Saturday morning at the state convention. So again, I'll try to finish up here, but no more county conventions, no district conventions, but state convention, yes, the conservative Pelican will be covering it as long as it stays an in-person event. If it becomes a virtual convention, oh boy, we had so many issues last year with these little handheld voting devices. I'm thinking to myself, if the state party can't manage that, how in the Hardee's chicken biscuit, how in the world of Hardee's can the state party manage a virtual convention amongst at least 1,000 people, right? How can they? They have to have a state convention that is a in-person version. They have to, right? Well, for the Conservative Pelican, I am Bobby Crawford. Thanks for watching.